Hi. Hello. Good day. How you guys doing? How's your January 26th, year 2021 going? Hope you guys are doing well. I'm feeling good. Getting mentally prepared for staring at some feet. Oh. Not a whole lot of preparation needed for that, if you know what I'm saying. Come on now, feet are great. Feet, they're what make the world go round, because you can walk on top of them, and the friction pushes the planet. It's in a spinning manner, so it's because of feet, right? You can pretty much justify anything. As long as it's exactly that. So I was just looking through some more Pinterest and saw some more hands and feet, and there's lots. I found lots. We're good. I don't think we'll ever run out of reference for these things now. I don't know. Maybe we found kind of like what happens when you lose signal for your cell phone. You're in like a dead zone. Maybe I was just in a little dead zone on Pinterest. But literally outside of that one single zone it's just like 98% feet outside of that. So we're good. Sometimes I think that there's like a secret like algorithm current that just like once you're in that current, once you're part of that, once your browser's now flowing along that equation stream, that's when Pinterest gives you the goods pretty quickly. I'm making all this up, by the way. None of this is actually true. If you believe this, maybe put the tinfoil on a little bit tighter. Anyways, let's do, this is, hey, look, hey, there we go. This is what we did yesterday. I plan on doing pretty much the same thing today. This is the one that we started with yesterday. This is the hand pose that we started with, and the one that we're going to be starting with is very similar to that. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, and then we'll switch into some feet. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get some circles. So I'm going to put all that in its own folder and turn it off. Make a new layer. Stylus. Right here. Found it. Hope you guys are having a good day. I fucking not really much to talk about this morning. We might be getting a fridge sometime soon. I don't think we're gonna be getting it today. They didn't call us. But if I have to fucking just jet for the door, that's probably what's happening. I don't think it's gonna happen today. I'd be really, really surprised if we got a delivery without any type of heads up, you know? I know that is, you know, it's a lockdown and people are technically supposed to be home, but I don't think that they would just go ahead and show up without a notification. However, I'll gladly have my fridge be delivered without any notification and take it with open arms, because I'm realizing how important it is to have some fridge space, man. And how much of my food that I eat is refrigerated. I plan on switching to keto as soon as we have the fridge space, because a lot of the keto stuff that I'm going to be eating, eggs, cheese, meat, cottage cheese, but still kind of a cheese, yogurt, plain yogurt though. Delicious. All that stuff needs to be stored in a fridge, so got no space for that right now, so I'm just gonna have to keep eating my carbs. Tasty, tasty, delicious carbs. Yeah. Lockdown has really just like thrown out any type of sense of sorry, not sense of, but any desire to eat sensibly in a healthy way. Like it's just no. It's just like whatever's sustaining my body right now doesn't matter. You know, it's kind of like get me through the. That we see the light at the end of the tunnel. Let's just fucking get there. You know what I mean? And then once we're out in the clear, you know, whether that's hopefully earlier this year rather than next year when everything starts to re-normalize into our new normal. Does that make sense? Re-normalize? I really don't think our new normal is going to be... I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll see. It's something that the world has never really gone through. At least in modern times, right? Alright, let's go ahead and grab our first hand reference for today. Got a lot. Got the James Gurney thingy open. I can close this one. Is that... No, I can close that one. That would... Yeah, I think underwear models are going to be fantastic for when we're just studying legs in the future. Because we got some legs. There's some more. You might be able to... No, okay. Nope, that's too low res. So many tabs. Nope. I have it here, I swear, guys. I swear. It's here somewhere. Nope, that's not it either. Oh, and I found a bunch of, photos of like this kind of stuff, with the hands actually doing something. I think that's going to be very helpful. Like this shit, like that. This is really what I want. I want hands doing practical hand things. I wish that this wasn't so foreshortened. You know, this would be good. Like, how do people hold their hands in, that's actually really good. Just idly, right? Because if we practice drawing the hands idly, and we add that to our visual library, it'll help out our actual drawings, right? I gotta be careful with Pinterest because there could just be a massive throbbing penis just half a scroll away. Penis. I saw it. I saw the hand that I wanted to use, and then I didn't use it. Why you gotta go and do that? I had it. I was just looking at it. Give me a second. Give me a second. You guys can just enjoy this nice blank canvas. You thought I was going to say music, didn't you? Got ya. Got ya. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, nope. Nope. Maybe I closed it? Nope. Okay, we're back into hands. How many tabs I have open? Nope. I think I did close it. What? Did I even find the hand? Maybe I didn't. That's a good hand. I'm finding other hands. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Once we have a ton of hands, we should be good. We should be, I just wanted, it was this nice descriptive flat hand that was kind of open like that. And really, I could have the photo by now if I had just... Oh wait, you know what? Wasn't it on its own window? No, I merged them together. There it is, found it. Hold on, let's go ahead and do this. View image. And then drag it from there. Yeah, there we go. Control J. Get this a little bit bigger now. Stop! Stop. Alright. Cool. Sip coffee. Find the stylus. Good to go. Alright, I'm gonna turn up the jams a little bit. That should be good. If anything's too loud, you let me know. Alright, let's jump into this. And palm. And let's look at just a quick run through of I really like what here, let's just do it this way. James Gurney and Z. Yes. This. So let's take a look at this real quick. Reinforcing tops and sides whenever he can. Maybe, yeah, if we find some good poses, maybe we'll take some to some value study. I think that could be fun. It's just so nice. These are just so nice, man. Does James Gurney, does he have a hands book? James Gurney, how to draw, or just hands? Hands book. Book of hands. Let's see what his books are. I think he's just got the 2, yeah? No, he's got the dystopian one there. 3, 4. He likes dinosaurs. He loves the dinosaurs. I don't know, maybe they're out of print. I don't know. It would be great to see his method in a book. I guess maybe it is. It must be. Anyways. Up here. So he kind of like does a really light gesture for each individual finger. I'm gonna do kind of a mix of that. Let's get the wrist in too. Go. All right, let's divide the fingers up now. Right, move this one out a bit. Push this one back a little more here. Yeah, okay. That. I think that's probably decent enough rough in for now. So I guess we're kind of pushing some other things. Did I put out my Instagram? No, I didn't. Okay, here we go. Boom. All right. Yeah, I think we will. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of value. Maybe not with this one. Maybe one that has a little bit more of a dynamic hand pose, if I can say such a thing. Maybe that has a little bit more expression, more form. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when we move on. My fingers are a little bit too long, but it could also be the fact that I drew everything else a little bit too big. Intentionally. I don't know. Maybe that's not a good idea. Do you guys draw the same size as your reference? Sometimes I intentionally try to mix that up. Sometimes I try to make it the same size, and sometimes I don't want it to be. I guess it really just... Does it depend? I don't know. Does it matter? It really... maybe it just matters on the end results. Maybe it always matters on the end results. I don't know too many people who post the reference next to their study. So therefore that kind of like right off the bat, you don't really have to worry about it looking exactly the same, right? That's straighter right there. Maybe we'll, you know what, if we find any, like, hands that are a little bit more experienced, a little bit more aged, usually they have a good amount of information to justify a value study. So maybe if we find something like that again today, I guess we could always go back to the other one too. What the fuck is wrong with hands? They look so weird. They're so alien, and when we do eventually finally see aliens, I bet you they're gonna have like whatever aliens have, and I'm probably gonna be like, now those make more sense. Give me a set of those at the end of my holding sticks, aka arms. Unless they just have like hooks. I'm still thinking that's kind of cooler. All right, so there's that hand. Kind of weird thumb area. Okay. There's that hand. That over there. Slide that a little bit more. I don't know, should I be doing this? Control J? Maybe I could darken them a bit, because I do draw them zoomed up and very light. Maybe we can adjust that later. Okay, so the next hand, let's draw. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. View image info. No. View image. There we go. Do that. A little bit bigger. Delete a little bit of this. Look at that. All right. Listen. Yo. Yeah. Got some bars. Nope. Okay, coming up this way. See the knuckles. The knuckles, getting the knuckles seeing them in a row like that is kind of the equivalent of seeing this. Right? Because this tells me, I guess, a little bit of perspective. The best thing is that my drawing is not accurate. That's the best thing about it. Okay. Try this again. Goes like that. And then we can come down here. These three. Envelope them like that. That knuckle. Come down there for that. Oh, and this also reminds me, I guess, you know what? A good value study. Still life is of folds. We should probably go back and do that at some point. Just find I guess, I don't know. I don't see the reason why I don't set up my own still lifes is because I just don't have good lights. I don't have the proper lighting to set something like that up. I also have cats. I guess I could do in a room where they can't get into. It's like every room though. I don't know. Maybe in the future I'll take a day during the weekend. If we ever do any still lifes in the future. And take a bunch of reference. But I would need a camera in order to do that though, right? So my plan needs a little bit of work. What's a good camera for reference that won't break the bank? Are there affordable DSLRs? Do those exist? Okay, Dyson, wait, Dyson makes vacuums. Never mind, I don't think they're gonna... Why would I think Dyson make cameras? Nikon? Nikon? Which I do need a vacuum. Guys, what's a good vacuum? What is it, Derek? Which one do you need? Vacuum or a camera? They have a vacuum camera, maybe? Okay. The side of the finger here. Nail. We can get the knuckles. Knuckle seems a little bit too bulbous. Sore. And I think that finger might be a little bit too long as well. Grab that. And maybe like this. All right. I'm trying to rack my brain and think of other like hand positions that are just very not situational, but like usable. Does that make sense? You know, it's nice to draw hands that are all, you know, looking like this, and they're like very expressive. But I guess I'm not trying to benefit from... There's nothing really to benefit from those, besides maybe just kind of having them as an option to study off of. I want more practical, I guess just hands holding stuff is kind of what I have to look for. Hands holding like a cell phone, hands holding tool. Turkin, hey, how you doing, man? How the heck are you doing? I'm doing fantastic. I honestly have never been better. How about you? Which is, I know, all things considered in the world is maybe hopefully refreshing to hear, but I've been great, man. Hanging out, streaming, living the life, dude. Bought a new home during the pandemic as well. A lot of shit changed for the better in my life this past year. I'm very happy. Very fortunate. Hope you're doing well, Turkan. Hope everyone's doing well who's here. It's a scary place out there, man. Alright, get these nails in. Fix this little knuckle here. Something like that. Okay, there's two. Yeah, they could be. I could probably darken these later. Like double them up.
Do it in the streets.
Do something like that.
Do it at
Yeah.
home. The rest is bullshit, and you know it.
Still just doing whatever. To be honest, you are in a boat with many, my man. You know, it's kind of a hang on to what you can. That helps you get through trying times. Or we can draw fingers and hands. That's something that I'm trying to do. Does studying, honestly, it's helping distract my brain from other worldly bullshit. Even though it's nice to wake up and not see just a new juvenile news report, I guess. So that's kind of, it's nice to wake up to a world that's slowly, hopefully, returning to some type of old self. Now, what did I do to this finger? Got another photo coming right up. Let's see here. Oh, that's a GIF. That sucks. Okay. That's kind of blurry. How about this one? Dark. View image. See here. Okay, I think we can use this. Go like this.
Yeah.
Delete that. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. Let me adjust the levels here. Control L. Slide this to make it darker. Slide this to make it lighter. A little bit, I think.
Yeah.
There we go. Now we can see some things. All right. And I'm out of coffee. I'm gonna go get some coffee real quick, and we'll jump into this one.
Come on. Yeah.
Okay. All right. This one's more about, I think, his veins than anything. But I'm gonna draw pretty much everything I'm seeing. Maybe? No, let's just get the hands in. Wider here. See the knuckles. Go to the other hand here, see the knuckles there. Change that angle. Just drawing mittens. The wrist. Sleeve. Yeah, it feels okay. It's a little bit too exaggerated there. This down. The bulk is at the tip here. When the finger's bent like that, the knuckle is being used. Why is that so much louder? Okay, back here. Right, so when the fingers are bending away from us, they're not going to be bending like this from the knuckle, right? They're not going to be doing that, and then the fingers are going away from us, or coming towards us either. I guess it really depends on the person's fingers. Typically, kind of pillow out, and that's where the bone. We saw it in, was it Hogarth? Was it Hogarth or was it somebody else? Where it basically draws like these dog bones. Like these femur bones, essentially. And they kind of hammerhead at the end. Just a little bit. As they kind of interlock with the other phalange? Gosh dang phalangles. So that's something I'm trying to keep my mind on. I guess another thing that they do is a simpler way. Yeah, it looks like they kind of do that. And then go out. That. Alright, so let's follow this vein. A bit of his other finger here. This one.
Oh.
Alright, other hand. Those fingers sketched out.
Oh, fuckers.
Pinky. Okay.
Yeah. You're dead, bro. Yeah.
Here, okay, let's erase that. It's Knuckles. With the cat shadow. It's hitting them. That and then out. I don't know about this hand. Let's do another one. Let's see here. Didn't like that pose as much as I thought I would. Holding a glass would be nice. Hand holding glass. Hand holding glass, or like a cup or something. Photo. Okay. But like, hold it normal, though. You know what I mean? Like, just hold it normally. Oh well. I think I have to get into a special algorithm for that. Also. Okay. Those feet. I guess, I want to stick to hands for now. I do have a lot of feet photos here. Don't get too excited, guys. Calm down. Okay, here we go. Here's the perfect one. This is it. Oops. Double click. View image. Drag. Which room do we got? Okay. Grab that. Here. All right, okay. We might be here, actually. Let's go ahead and adjust this one a little bit. Might be able to do a value study of this. I don't want to wash that out. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Hope you guys are having a good day. What is it, Tuesday? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It ain't Monday. Okay, let's start with the wrist. The ulna. Hands going down this way. Gesture in the fingers now. Down to the pinky. Right, the ring finger in here. Come to about here. Now this is gonna tell us if we're even close to accurate. See how long this. Oh, I think it's fine. All right, single this. That finger down there. Holds in the skin. Underneath this one. One up here, cast shadows. And that down. Wrist here. I think I need to bring this in a bit. Like that. Here, let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay. See that the pinky needs to be a little bit larger here. This finger needs to be a little bit more defined. Ah, okay. I think, no, let me try this. His thumb a little bit bigger. See how high it comes up compared to mine? Need to erase everything, I guess. Get this. Nail. Okay, and then index finger. Kind of going out just a little bit too. Maybe that's better. Man, thumbs are like the feet of the hand in terms of like for me personally, how much. Let me just say, the thumb is my least favorite finger. I just don't trust it, which is kind of why I'm calling it the foot. Not that I have trust issues with feet. They're just, to me, I find them not appealing. So you know, so it's just, you know. And the thumb is the foot. It all really makes sense if you're crazy, I guess. Right. I think that feels a little better, maybe. Yeah, I think we need to do a bit of that, maybe. Actually, that. Male, maybe. Hey Primer, do you go to school for any art? I did go to school for animation. Years ago, graduated in 2007. But before the animation course, they have you take a 1-year course for art fundamentals. It was a good course. It was a really good course. The only reason why I kind of took it was for the well, I guess at the time I did want to become an animator, but I guess now that I look back and I see the, you know, the fruits of my past labors, it was a good idea to go to that course simply for the light drawing. Justified not ending up becoming an animator, but also still using what I learned there. So it's not completely a waste for me. But after I graduated, I did land a job making casino games, which, you know, it still requires some artistic abilities, and, you know, it's a very good first gig. But that's where I learned how to use Photoshop, because I lied on my resume. So I had to learn how to use Photoshop at some point. So that's what I did. You never really know what's going to happen. Really, you might have plans to do something at one point, and then they change later on. And that's I was welcome to the change of just using Photoshop over, I guess, back in the day, Flash, right? That was, rest in peace, Flash. Officially gone, I think. Right? Flash is completely RIP now, I believe. Yeah, this pinky's Humongous. From the proportions of these fingers. Though, right? Am I right? In fact, I think I want to draw this one over again. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and put this one down here. And then draw it again. Do you not animate anymore? No, I really don't. I don't have a desire to. The type of animating that I wanted to do, that I had a passion for, was traditional animating. In a very traditional manner, as in having an animation disc, having the wheel, using actual coal erase or colored pencils, non-photographic or photocopied colors, I guess is what I'm trying to say with those coal erase pencils. They're very specific for animation or just scanning. I want to roll the paper. You know, I want to get my hands on it and do it that way. But the problem is that's not a job for somebody just coming out of animation school anymore. It's not. And I don't want to climb the ladder to get to a position where I would be able to do that. Because climbing that ladder is using other programs that I don't enjoy. And that's kind of it. It's selfish, you know? But I think I think we're allowed to be selfish when it comes on deciding what we're going to do with our as our career, right? I think we're allowed to. Whereas we now have that option, I guess, to be picky, thanks to the internet, right? Whereas if it was my parents' generation, or even their parents, more specifically their parents, my grandparents' generation, if you got a job, that was basically your job for the rest of your life, right? Like, you were thankful you even had a gig. And of course, even back then, there was even, I'm assuming, fewer animators, and you really had to know your chops in order to land that position. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. The most qualified of animators, traditional animators, are the ones doing the traditional animating, right? That makes sense, you know, skill-wise, but there's no entry room for somebody living in New Brunswick, Canada. You know, I would have to have an in at Pixar or wherever, because they, like I said, they still do traditional animation, but they're like the Glenn Cleans of animation, right? Or literally Glenn doing it, right? Okay, so let's block that in down here. I just saw something move. Crazy! Respect that. Yeah. And I don't think I'd ever go back to school. I don't really think I'd ever go back to school unless there was some type of what do they call it? Tuition, where I don't have to pay anything. But I really don't see that happening anytime soon. Like, it would be cool to be somebody's if someone could tutor me, like if I was someone's Padawan for art. I can't remember what it's called. That would be amazing. But I don't know if people do that anymore, especially for, I don't know, fantasy artists. Oops. down even more. I mean, the art school conversation is a good conversation to have. I think it's a conversation that I think most parents who are harboring an artist who is raising an artist, what to decide for them. I don't think that they're going to really have a normal post-secondary education unless you have the funds to help them with it, right? It's not, if they truly want to become an artist, the reason why I'm hesitant on telling you to send your kids to an expensive course is that it's not guaranteed that they'll find work immediately, right? If they show crazy promise and have an insane amount of potential, yeah, maybe, but even then it's kind of like, I don't know, it's really dependent on the individual. What's their personality like? I'm seeing something. I don't know. I guess I'm not seeing something. Haunted basement. It's what I like to draw in. What was I saying? School stuff? Yeah, if you have the funds to put them through a school, you know, there's a couple that are pretty banging, and then there's a whole lot more that are probably just a waste. I'd probably direct people to like Schoolism or fucking even Gumroad tutorials over sending them to a school that doesn't really guarantee anything other than debt. That's why. It's that D word. If debt's not an issue to some people, fucking go wild. I guess the only resource you have to worry about is just time then. But I wouldn't, I still wouldn't go to art school, I think. I guess I already answered that or made that statement. The only art school I'd probably go to, like I said again earlier, is if somebody, an artist that I admired, wanted to have, oh sorry, an artist I admired moved down the road specifically to, like on my street, and it's like, hey Derek, do you want me to teach you how to draw better? I'm like, yeah, you're that artist that I really admire and respect. I'll be right over. That's probably the only time that I'd do it. You know, like I think about like the old school master painters and how they all just like hung out together. I don't know. It's like there's so many more artists now, which is great. Back then, I don't know how many people really tried to become painters. I think the meme of, you know, painters being broke, starving, and poor is probably very much a real thing back then, and it is today, of course. But that's like, you don't sign up to become an artist or a freelance illustrator or whatever to know that you're gonna starve. I think back then they're like, yeah, there's gonna be some hard patches here, definitely. I don't know what I'm talking about. Of course, you could be financially responsible back then too, right? When Van Gogh worked on a farm for pretty much his entire life. Van Gogh. I was 2 classes away from my illustration degree and walked away. Did you really, G40? 2 classes. You didn't think that it'd be a good idea just to sit through those last 2? Or was it that bad? So I can understand that. Like if the animation course that I took didn't have the life drawing teacher, it would have absolutely the connections I made, the friends that I made, I think I'll probably always cherish. And even some of the other instructors that don't work there anymore were fucking awesome. But you run the risk of having you run the risk of wasting your time with somebody who's a teacher that has ego issues, or a professor that is just like has a complex, and it's usually something like, I'm amazing in the industry and you don't recognize that I'm a fucking blessing to be teaching you what I'm teaching you, like that kind of attitude. Sadly, it exists very much in the it's in the animation industry specifically, but I'm assuming that it's in all industries, which fucking sucks. But that's probably what you'll run into, and you'll have to spend probably another handful of years unlearning the bullshit that they fucking tainted your brain with. Anyways, so we all go through our own individual journeys, right? So we have to be responsible for our own decisions. Maybe, I don't know. What am I talking about again? School? Art school? I think I was at some point. Until I started complaining about an old teacher. It's still this finger, isn't it? Completely disillusioned with the whole thing. Before I knew it, 30 years went by. I'm only now starting to get back into it. And that's kind of it, dude. It's so... Is that the right word? Disenfranchising? It's like telling you, prepping you for lots of work, giving you all these skills that once you graduate are basically not, I don't know, not really useful. Maybe they would have been if I did take like a animation gig. Yeah, I understand what stretch and squash and keyframes and all that kind of stuff is. It's the thumb, isn't it? Make that thumb a little bit bigger. A bit more sausagey. I don't know, it's all relative, man. Everything in life is relative. Whatever fits your situation. I think there's ways to get something out of even a shitty art course. It really just depends on attitude, I guess, maybe, and money, time. Like the thing is, like, it's a trade. Anybody can draw. Anybody can teach themselves how to draw. It's time, you know. It's dedicating the amount of time to teach yourself how to do those things. And if you're even remotely interested in learning, you know, if I don't care about learning a certain thing, the chances are I'm not going to really learn it. I'm not, even if I'm forcing myself to learn it, you know? You need to pursue your interests. That's the real key. The passion, right? All right, I'm done with that hand. Driving me nuts. Davey boy, how you doing? Hello. I'm worried for my daughter. She's an illustration major right now. Hopefully she's better prepared than I. Do you know what it is that she wants to do, G40? What type of illustration work does she like? Because a lot of what school can do is it can tell you what you don't like. Right? Which sounds expensive. It's an expensive way to learn what you don't like. I guess the positive thinking about that would be that now at least you know what you like and what you don't like. I didn't go to an actual school. I went to a community college, which I think now, I don't know if it's happening or not, but didn't Biden say that he wants to make community colleges free? That would be an option, I guess, in the near future for some people to take. Again, at that point, it really only matters. It's your time that you'd be spending, and hopefully the qualifications of the teachers are good. And that can be said about any university course or college course, right? You don't think she knows? Okay, she's pretty involved in the zine trend. Okay, and that's a good, healthy, booming market. I think there's a lot of people, but maybe that's just it, is that since there's so many people, it's only volatile to a certain percentage. But if you're consistent and quality of work is there, and the content, you know, people with the worst of drawing skills can still find success in any form, including zines and online comics. What was it? I think Caroline spent, I think, an entire weekend reading an online comic and was absolutely obsessed with it. Like, I think there was a couple of those. I don't know if she's wrote in the chat a while ago, but I don't know if she's here right now. But with those, it's simple art. Some of them can be a little bit more extravagant, but it's characters, it's the world, story building on top of art. You know, it's not always about the arts, and sometimes it's more about the characters, relationships, story building. That's a hard thing to come up with, I find. Some people might have an easier time coming up with stories than the drawing. I'm envious of that. Lore Olympus. Now, with that, is that, honey, is that like a, would you call that a zine? I'm kind of out of the loop of that as well, so I'm not entirely sure myself, G40. Lore Olympus. Don't get me started on free. Okay, 40. I totally am picking up what you're putting down. There are people that can draw better from the start because they develop better observation skills from childhood. I'm one of them, but that's only part of it. You also need motivation, hard work, interest, and art on top of it. Yeah, so like at a young age, having good observation skills is definitely an extreme benefit to drawing, right? Some people just aren't wired that way. It's like asking a truck. Sorry, asking a tiny like 2-seater car that has, you know what? Why would I ever try to compare art to cars? I don't know shit about cars. Why would I ever do that? To myself, of course, is what I did it for. Who I did it to, but I did it nonetheless. I'm trying to draw a comparison. You know, some brains are in tuned with other things in the same genre, while others are in tune with other things, right? Like some people might be able to put down color, have a better natural skill to choose the right color palette for something. Some people like anatomy. Some people can observe very well. Whatever it is, you know. None of that really matters because that shit's not you. What you need to focus on is what you like to do and pursue that shit, right? And Hellcat, he mentioned, they mentioned a specific point here that I want to underscore is you don't need motivation. You shouldn't rely on motivation, and you shouldn't ever have it to the point where I will only create something when I'm motivated. And unless you have that luxury and that flexibility in your life to do that, I would never get anything done. So it's more along the lines of, rather than relying on motivation, rely on your ability of self-discipline, or start working on that, I guess, or continue to work on your own self-discipline. That'll get you much, much further than motivation will ever. So you don't want to rely on that. So what you should do is set a schedule, right? And lock yourself to that. We have a couple hands here that I wanted to draw. I like this one. That one's good. But let's get this one here. We haven't done a fist yet. And we'll have to draw that watermark as well, I guess. Okay. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not familiar enough what a zine is to say yes or no. Okay. That's fair enough, huh? Because I don't I don't either. I don't really know. Myself. I know what webcomics are, I guess. Which I would say that you can put a webcomic in a zine. I'm that guy with no drawing skills. I'm hoping to learn some traditional art, then slowly merge the animation. Davey, that's a good way to go about it. That's what my instructors, when I was taking the course, said, but they were being paid by the school, so I don't know if it was a biased take or not, but I personally don't think it's that important to start traditionally or digitally, one or the other. I think it comes down to, what are you most comfortable starting with? What will allow you to learn better? It's sitting down in front of a tablet in Photoshop or whatever drawing program, clip art, or having a sketchbook. You can basically be anywhere with that shit, right? You can go outside. Awful place, by the way. You can stay inside and draw. You can draw on the couch. You can draw on your bed. You know, you can draw anywhere. I guess you can with the tablet now if you have an iPad, but paper is much more affordable. Still. Alright, so we see the knuckles lining up like that. Whenever you see these lining up, that's a good indicator for tops and sides, right? You're gonna see some tops, you're gonna see some sides. You see some tops and some sides. And why is that important? Why are tops and sides important? Tops and sides are important to show dimension and depth, right? When things have dimension and depth, they're much more likely to be believed. And that's all that we really are. Is we're just a bunch of liars trying to convince people that something that really isn't there is actually there. Nice. Okay, guy on the internet. That's not really what art is. Asking someone to cook without a cookbook, who's never cooked before, I guess. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Turkin. Slumbering, how you doing, Slumbering? Don't listen to Derek. Just do everything on feelings and emotions, and yeah, that's true. That's a true point. That's a really good point there, Slumbering. Is that you can't always you gotta do what makes you happy, but you also have to have a strict schedule. It's, yeah, I'm a hypocrite. I'm telling you to go two different directions at once. Inconsistency is key. It's strange, man. There's no. I guess the true thing that I want to say is, are you ready? It's all made up on the spot. You know, it's all kind of like seat of your pants. If you don't have something planned out, obviously, then you're going to be making it up on the spot. I actually had something better to say, and then my brain just turned off halfway through that sentence. I started drawing. My bad. What were we talking about? Consistency, probably better than motivation. Yes. That's very true. I would say that, yeah. Streaming, that's what streaming is for me, you know? It's always, and it probably always will be, is something that helps maintain my schedule and my sense of normalcy throughout the day. Not me being normal. That's, you know, I've given up on that years ago. But having what appears to be a normal schedule. Streaming allows me to do that. It helps. It actually is a source of motivation for me to continue. But yeah, mainly just it's here to set that schedule up. You know, so that when I fail at you know, if I'm lazy, I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do anything today. Not only do I let myself down, but I let anybody who wants to put themselves through this nonsense. If that's a disappointing thing for me not being here, then, you know, I ruined their day too. Or a part of their day. Or maybe I made it better by not being here. I don't know. Depends on the person. What's this guy talking about? Clean this up, move that around. Traditional is probably better to learn for me because I don't have a drawing tablet or anything. Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense for sure. So paper is the way to go whilst I save up. That makes complete sense, man. That's how I did it. That's how I jumped into digital. I did it on a whim one day. And I think I bought my tablet at... No, I bought it at a store that is no longer around called Future Shop. I guess they were bought out by Best Buy, right? Essentially Best Buy. That's where I got my first Cintiq. And I remember the day, I think it was when like EverQuest came out. Either EverQuest 1 or 2. Because those were all over the shelves at Best Buy. When I had my little gray Cintiq in my hands. And then I bought that, tried it once, and then didn't like it, and then that's pretty much the end of that. I eventually did whip it out later on. I think I bought that like the mid 90s or something like that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a little, maybe like 1998 or something. Can't remember exactly. But I didn't touch it for another probably like 5 years or so. And then brought it with me to animation school, 2003, or 2004 rather. Didn't really use it there. Yeah. Yeah, let's get this. Hang with that, put that back down here. I think just grab here. Think that a little bit. I think there's something also very important that people don't usually talk about, which isn't just hours of practice. It's life experience and perspective. Taking years breaks from drawing, and when I've returned to it, I've gotten better. Yes, absolutely. Life situations, can impact our way of thinking. And if there isn't a life situation that's impacting our way of thinking, maybe we're just not in the right state of mind yet to be able to take in certain things. I don't know. What am I talking about? It's relative, man. It's super relative, including where we're each individually at, like personality-wise, life journey-wise. You might not really think that this stuff's as important to learning, but there's a lot of insightful shit that we can benefit from in our drawing, believe it or not. Most artists that I talk to seem to have a lot of commonalities with what would I call it? Curiosity, I guess. Just curiosity. Just they have, not in everything, of course. We're not all interested in the same shit, but they're interested in learning and finding out more. And generally, you need to have that quality. You in order to progress on your own, you kind of just need to ask questions, and that includes about your art and about your methods, contrasting and comparing to other artists. It's and doing it in a healthy way, right? There's a difference between comparing yourself to another artist and comparing yourself to another artist to make yourself feel like shit, right? The latter is obviously the unhealthy way. And what's the healthy way to compare yourself to another artist? It's to not. It's to don't compare yourself to them. Compare yourself to the end result. Compare your end result to their end result. If you're trying to get a job or trying to get work from a specific client, you need to hold up your work next to that work and be honest with yourself. It has nothing to do with the actual artists who did it and them trying to make your career less successful by drawing as good as they draw. That's never the case. I don't think there's room. You know why I think that's the case? It's because I don't think there's room in this industry for people like that. And if they're here, then they probably won't be here for too long. because it is a relatively small industry. You know, there's some benefits to that. It's a little bit too big over here. Any tips on where to start? I'm at the age where I can't start art full time unless I become good overnight, because if I did that, my life would be ruined. Yeah, exactly, and that's it. It's like we can't just give up everything that we've already done up until this point in our lives, you know. Financially, it's realistically not possible for a lot of people. You know, unless you're winning the lottery or I don't know. Investing in yourself still requires money, still requires time, especially if you're doing it yourself. Where you're going to get those things, so you don't want to quit your day job, right? You don't want it really just comes down to scheduling during your off hours, moonlighting, right? As they say, which means working during the night on the things that you want to be working on. But, you know, it could be beneficial to try and get some commissions, regardless of your level, because if that's something that you're planning on doing, if you're planning on being freelance, getting your name out there is, I don't know, it's probably very beneficial. But the thing that's only beneficial when you do that is being consistent. Because otherwise, if you're not consistent and you're at a beginner level, you're just putting your stuff out there, right? Most likely not getting too much attention. That can put yourself in a compromised mental position, like you're mentally compromised because you're not seeing
what was that?
the likes that you want, or you're not getting noticed in the way that you had hoped. And it just takes time. It really just takes time. If there was a way to turn off that part of my brain, that whenever I post something and it doesn't get the reaction that I was hoping for, if that was possible for me to just, man, I'd be posting much more consistent. Because it's a real part. It's a real part of learning to draw and becoming better is our tendencies to think overly critical of herself. And to expect people to, I don't know, respond in certain ways. It's hard to shake that habit. Right? Okay, it's still kind of wonky, but okay, let's get another hand. When I watch a movie, I don't just passively watch them. I notice the color grading, framing, composition, colors on the screen, how they make background characters wear bland colors, and the main characters wear bright primary colors. And it's just awful, right? It just ruins watching movies now that you're constantly dissecting everything, right? At least I'm finding that's what a lot of the 10 years of working in whatever industry that's related to entertainment is that knowing how to create and construct some of the stuff, it removes some of the mystery of it and the believability and the immersion that I can now not get into when watching movies because of the stuff that you say, Slumbering, because it's just observing the things that the patterns, the foreshadowing in movies now, even when it comes to narrative-based shit like the script, right? Like actors, like items. I'm like, oh, that's a foreshadow for something later on, and then you eventually see it, and then it'll ruin the experience because I already predicted what the fuck's going to happen in the movie. You know what I mean? So that shit happens. Where'd my music go? Play. Okay. Here, you know what? Just play from here. So yeah. And as far as where to start, yeah, we can show you guys Loomis. AlexHayes.com. Great website. Okay, it's loading finally. Has a bunch of awesome beginner-friendly, intermediate-friendly, professional-friendly books here that cover a lot of the fundamentals, more specifically about human anatomy, perspective. Totally worth just checking out, flipping through, bookmarking. Goes through head construction. We did this 2 weeks ago. A bunch of this stuff. Expressions. We haven't tackled that yet. I want to get to it. And I plan on drawing heads. We're gonna every other week or every couple of weeks we're gonna be going back to head drawing. For about a week. Just so that I'm doing everything I can to reaffirm my priorities, which is better head drawings, hopefully in the future. Learn to draw a hand, but also if composition sucks, no one really cares about your finished painting. That's true. And also like being aware of where you're posting them. And what I mean exactly when I say that is like sites like Twitter will crop your image a certain way, and depending on if you're seeing a non-interesting part of a photo of your painting or whatever, and it crops to that area that's not interesting, and you post it, chances are people aren't going to find it as interesting if it was cropped to, I guess, a focal point. But what sucks is we can't control that unless we change the size of our image, right? I don't know a way around that. How to make Twitter's cropping not suck. But what they really should do is allow us to at least have an edit for that. But Twitter doesn't like edit, right? Twitter hates edit. I mean, is it ruined though? I don't know what you mean. Foreshadowing. Oh, the camera lingering on the red glowing ring, so clearly that ring needs to be made. Yeah, an appearance later. But they didn't set up the ring's existence and that it was important. If a fucking ring pops up out of nowhere later in the end of the movie and it kills the big bad boss, that's even worse because it's like, where the fuck did this ring come from? It's just necessary evil. Yeah, you need to. There's graceful ways to introduce your I don't know, your core items, your foreshadowing things. There's ways to do it non-discreetly. But usually it's very bland and obvious. It's like, oh, there's that thing. Never mind. Don't worry about that thing. Let's get back to doing the other thing that we're doing. Okay, ha 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 ha. And that's kind of it. So there's some hands. I'm going to switch to feet, I think, now. But before I do that, I'm going to use a washroom real quick. And then we should be ready. So sit tight. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Be right back. Okay. OnlyFans section, yeah. True. Let's get the feet. Let's get the feet going. Okay. That is a hand. Okay, alright, okay. Let me see here. What do we want to start with? I think that, yeah, I think let's do this. View image. Do that. Probably just do one of these. One of those numbers. And a little bit of that. Just boom. Alright. I think there's enough information there for us to can kind of see. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean there, slumbering. That's yeah. Yeah. And that's why I like movies like Souls. Souls. I had no idea where that was really going. Really good movie. I think that's like just the most recent movie that I can think of that had me guessing the entire way through. I also went into it not knowing what it was about as well. Okay, so we got the leg going up there. Got the big toe phalangles, metatarsals, phalangles, big toe. Not like that. Let's get the other one placed. Would you say that one of the most important things about drawing is your observation skills? Yeah, absolutely. Like if you can't tell that one square isn't the same as the other one, then you'll never draw accurately. I think so. I think that there might be a difference between observation and understanding. Understanding, when I use that word in this particular way, I mean the understanding of how something's engineered or how the physics of it works. I think that that's one possible thing. So you can see something moving that's created by somebody who understands how it's engineered, and then you can compare it to somebody who has really good observation skills. And maybe you'll get some similar results. I don't know. I would like to think that the person who understands engineering has some observation skills in this scenario that I'm making up. So therefore, they would probably have the better results. You know, because if you're only relying on what you're seeing and rather than how the thing works. Is that what I'm trying to say? Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Then you're limited, right? Your true understanding of that, whatever it is you're trying to draw, is limited. Whereas if you knew how it operated, what points intersected, the limit of reach or whatever of movement, those things are all really helpful.
The fans still gonna love me, man?
I don't think that answered your question though. But yeah, I would definitely say observation is probably the most important. Your observation skills don't need to be like perfection. but they can certainly, what was I gonna say? You can have good enough observation skills and still find success. I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Alright, let's get this sandal in. Starts from about the midpoint of the heel. It's back down here. It's rather close. It's back out around. Like somebody who's drawing with a nice understanding of shape and form, and they're drawing something, maybe it's a still life and it's right in front of them, and it turns out that it's not actually, I don't know, there's probably a better way to describe what I'm trying to say. I think observation paired up with anything else is, you're always going to be, that paired up thing is going to make your observation in your drawing that much better. Observations paired up with understanding. There. Is that what I was trying to say all this while? Maybe. I don't know. God damn it. Here. Tracing is a bad word, but I wonder if someone very new would benefit from drawing on top of images to see how things are made of smaller shapes. We were talking about that, I think, a couple days ago, last week. Someone asked about if there is any benefit of tracing, and I would say there is, but not one to rely on. What's good about tracing is if you're brand new to drawing and you don't have the muscle memory built up yet, you can do this kind of stuff really quick to try and help and develop your muscle, right? All these subtle lines that we will eventually kind of rely on to build up the muscle ability and just in general to do that. Takes time. I don't know if I've never done it. I've never started to I can't go back and unlearn and erase my muscle memory to try and see if this would work, but it would make sense to help out a little bit. But again, I would not rely on it. I would not rely on that being a way to increase your muscle memory. I'd rather do gesture drawing and just keep drawing that way. Just tracing, in the end, you're not creating it. It's something that's there and you're control seeing it, right? In a way, Control C and V. Control C, then Control V, rather. Elton Art, how you doing? How you doing, Elton Art? And yeah, pal. Happy Tuesday to you guys. Some days I feel like I unlearn how to draw. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. Yeah, it definitely
What was that?
feels like there's days when you take 2 steps backwards. And maybe hopefully 1 step forward. I don't know. That's too positive for me. Elton, I appreciate the follow. Hope you're having a great day. We're working on hands and feet for the rest of the week. These are some of the ones that we did today so far. And these are some of the ones that we did yesterday. Just more practice, right? Just practice. Let's keep going here. Where are you? There you are. Okay. So yeah, I really don't want it to get mixed up when I say there is a benefit to. I know that it's so easy. Probably someone could make a clip and take it out of context. John Derek Murphy, Twitch internet superstar, telling people to trace. Cancel him. Twitch superstar. I should get back to studies like this too. It's such a good way to improve. It really is. Especially when I was doing the heads, I felt a sense of progression that I haven't felt in a very long time. I want more. No, it's very nice. Do you have any advice on people who are just starting drawing? I would say check out Andrew Loomis, exclamation point Loomis there. There's the link. Check out alexhayes.com/Loomis. Scroll down. So for beginners, probably the first 3 books. It really depends on what you're trying to go after. If you want to understand figure drawing and anime, life drawing more, they all, I think, pretty much cover it. But figure drawing for all it's worth, fantastic. Drawing heads and hands, we looked at this earlier, yesterday for a little bit, and the week before to go over some head constructions. Yeah, I think the most basic of things to start with is trying to understand form. And I guess a little bit of perspective, but with form, it's you're not really considering. I guess you can be. I think I'm complicating things enough. Check out this book. Check out this book. If you have any specific questions, it's easier for me to answer the more specific things, because there's just so much to art. I can only give you kind of a direction to try, and if you find any benefit from that direction, then awesome. Yeah, that's what I would say. Am I on the wrong layer? I am. Okay, so let's do this. Get our lasso. If you're ever drawing on the wrong layer, and you're not completely fucking yourself. So in this scenario, I'm not completely fucking myself. I'm gonna hit Control J. First of all, I got my lasso out. Control J. We can go back to the layer that we didn't mean to paint on. Select it again. Hit delete. We can try and find the layer that we want this on and merge it to it. There we go. Bada bing. Made the toes a little bit too long. Did I? It feels wonky.
Wearing jazz chains, no cash, no cars, no jail bars, jigger, no pies, no case. Wearing jazz chains, no cash, no cars, no jail bars, jigger, no pies, no case. Wearing jazz chains, no cash, no cars, no jail bars, jigger, no pies, no case. Wearing jazz chains, no cash, no cars.
Okay. Where's M? M. Look that up. Is that what we want to do? No, I think we'll stay zoomed out. Are you a full-time artist? Every minute of every hour, every day, I am a full-time artist. Indeed. Indeed I am. Is that what? It's weird. Now, it doesn't mean I'm always painting or always drawing. Finding a balance is, you know, just like anything else, it's probably, it's a difficult thing. But one that I pride myself on trying to balance. So, probably for the most part, I'm drawing most days anywhere from 4 to 8 hours, and usually no more than that. Now, it really depends on how busy I am during that month, what my schedule is like, of course. This year, I haven't scheduled too many things. My priority is going to be the stream for all of this year. I'll be taking some commission probably next month at some point. It'll be open. I'll probably put out a tweet. But yeah, no, that's where I'm at. A little bit of client work, a little bit of commissions, mainly commissions. All right, down to the ankle, instep here. Coolspur, hi! Hello! The book cover is so dated. Hey kids, you want to learn how to have fun with a pencil? Yeah, just like the cartoon dude. Yeah, it is extremely dated. That's like any drawing art related book from like the 90s. I guess. Sorry, not the 90s. Any date predating now. Or the last 10 years. Because like even the newer stuff is good quality, nice quality books here. I guess they were limited with how much color ink they had, right? So that makes sense. Very expensive, probably to do even just that. It'd be nice to see some reprints of Loomis. Remastering. Remastered version of Loomis books. Alright, so this. It's a little bit too far back, maybe. Goes over to here. Like that, maybe. Toenail. And then I can't really see a lot of the toes on this side. Okay, let's find another foot. Let me see here. That could work. That could work. That could work. Yeah, let's do this. This is a little bit more different than what we've done so far. Right click, view image. There. And hopefully, yeah, I think there's enough resolution here. Let's draw it here.
You are a function of this total galaxy.
Oh, it's this song.
Real deep down you is the whole universe.
Guys, you're just really the universe. You are. Whether you want to be or not, you're just the universe.
Your living organism and all its behavior. It's expressing it.
There you go.
As a singer sings a song.
Damn, you're the universe reincarnated like a singer sings a song. Easy. Life figured out. We got it. The universe is self-aware through us. Damn. Solving problems. Next global issue. Famine. Give them Soylent. Not that kind. The other kind. Next issue. COVID. Don't get COVID, forehead. Next issue. Solved. We like to have fun over here. Is this guy okay? Streamer, are you okay? Alright, let's get this other leg. Ankle. $1890s is when it was. Oh my god, that's like forever ago, right? That's more than a couple months, that's for sure. They need to update that shit, or not, or just we can keep going to Andrew Loomis. Oh, sorry, AlexHayes.com. And the reason why it's free is because there's probably no one to get the, I don't know how the rights work for stuff like this. As long as it's 1,000 years old, it's basically public domain. Unless there was like a great granddaughter, son, whoever. I wonder what the story is of Andrew Loomis. I wonder what happened to Andrew Loomis. Is there a documentary anywhere that's about the fellow? Okay, go up here. These go down. There's my setup. I think we could probably do something like that. Trace Lord, John Derek Murphy. Oh my god. Trace Lord, John Derek Murphy says, fuck the haters. I'm gonna keep tracing, and I don't even give a fuck. The thing you just drew, I'm taking it. It's mine now. Fuck you. That was a direct quote from Tracer bitch John Derek Murphy. God. It's just a joke. It's just a joke, guys. It's just truth is out there now. Actually working right now while watching Yopow. That's awesome. That is like the single. No, I'd say that's like top 5 best things to hear when streaming. It's, if I'm helping you get through your day, you don't have to focus too much on the fact that you're at your bullshit, doing your bullshit. Just checking into your bullshit. Oh, Derek's on. You know, that makes me feel good. Help you get through your day. Even if it is in just a little bit of a way. Okay. Excuse me. It's by Gurney Man. He's got me into watercolors more. He's the watercolor master. He like with I don't know if he mainly uses gouache or whatever he uses, but whatever he's using is great. And of course I'm envious of his abilities. Watercolor is I don't think that's going to be ever a medium that I'm going to be comfortable with using. Due to having a tremor. A tremor in water and while I'm drawing and painting, I guess it's kind of like enough to have to manage already. But the way that the way that the water can flow onto whatever type of paper, I don't know, maybe it would be fine. Maybe I actually could do it. I should probably try at some point some traditional shit. I wonder how hard it would be to do, because I could go out fucking anywheres and draw. You know, there's probably not enough of a do some plein air type of stuff, and I wonder if I could stream that. I don't know how I'd set up streaming out in the real world. I know that Twitch can give certain people streaming backpacks, but I don't think that. Anyways, maybe in the future, maybe that'd be something to look into. And then we can do some plein air stuff, and I could try and learn how to paint properly with real mediums, especially ones I'm afraid of, like water. Yeah, it's afraid of water. Gouache and I'm a heavy-handed artist because of the tremor, so I tend to press very hard or like opaque type things, like painting opaque, using lots of paint rather than washes. It's kind of just a way to deal with hiding a lot of my shitty marks from having a tremor. I don't know. You can kind of see a little bit of what's happening here. Going up there. Do I have the heels too big? I think I might. And then, yeah. No. Go like this. Right? Something like that, maybe. Trace bitch, John Derek Murphy says, "Come at me, bro." I still like painting, but just not traveling around. Yeah. You know, outside is nice. At least it can be nice. When you're, like, on your own and left to nature, I guess. Like, there's all kinds of little, like, trails here, and probably find a nice little babbling brook type of thing. Set up, like, some type of easel and start painting. I think that'd be fun. But we're a ways away from that, I think. I had a really nice, like, little water palette thing, all in one kind of kit back in the day, and I remember buying it thinking that I would use it for, well, for painting, and it was cool. It's like just this little, it almost looked like a makeup traveling pack or something, right? So it'd be like this. And you could open it up, and then you'd have like the prime colors, and then you had like some secondary colors, and then you had like mixer compartments in here, and they were pretty deep too. So like, and then on this side, if you wanted to flip this down all the way, it also had some more like little things for you to mix some water with, I think, or even just to put water inside of. Right? It was nice. It was really nice, and you could just kind of take it and go. Haha. Goes up here. Back around. Another one right there. 1, 2, 3, 4? Only 4 toes? All I'm seeing. Anyways, I don't really like this study, so I'm gonna move on to another one. Let me see here. Feet that are being feet. Where the feet at? Do something like this. Okay, maybe something like that. That looks kind of great. What is that? New toeless pantyhose. Cool. Okay. View image. Ah, there you go. Let's draw that. Okay, so come down this way. Go this way. Ankle. Feet stuff. Down to the gross part. Ew. Alright, on to this other one. Sorry. Yucking someone's yum. What an asshole I am. Go down this way. Hi, Mofu. Can see ya there. With your, what's his face? The dude from, it's John Goodman, right? Is that emote? Looks like John Goodman. Okay, so we got ankle. These are kind of cool, right? Kind of nice to help with the toes. Draw these two together. There, something like that. Percy Laverson, how you doing? Hello. Happy Tuesday to you and everybody. How you guys doing? I was totally spaced out when I heard you go, "Hey, Mofu!" Almost made me jump. Glad I could help you be... Yeah, that's it. Oh, thanks, Derek. I'm glad I heard all those words that you just said. That made no sense. Thanks. Hope you're doing well, Mofu. Okay, so let's put these up now. Boom. Right amount of toes, I think. Doing good. How about you? I have no complaints. I'm extremely happy, feeling good. I'm awake. I got some coffee. Drawing my favorite body part ever. I got nothing to complain about. Life's good. I'm enjoying myself. Like that. This toe in here. I think we might have made this one too big. Yeah, there we go. I never knew this thing existed. These things, pantyhose with the toes. Pantyhose with the toes, or without toes. With toes? I don't know. Whatever the labeling convention is here. What's the wrong amount of toes? You say more the merrier? No, that's not that. That's the wrong. That's the exactly the wrong answer. No, you want exactly the right amount, and even then, still don't look at it. I don't know. Oh God, I'm just not a fan of toes. They don't like feet in a hole. As a whole, feet in a hole. As a whole, I'm just not. You know, I'm glad I have mine, but that's about it. You know, I'm happy to stand on mine and walk around and stuff. They do great work. But that's about it. Yeah, so I need to. I think it's actually the big toe. You guys hear my cat?
Hiya!
No, that's me, by the way. That's not the actual cat. My useless abilities to meow like a cat. I'm there. Hey man, could you stop doing that? You're freaking out my cat. There, done now. Alright, let's find another one. You ever think about intertwining toes with your soul? Oh. Skipping. We're gonna get a timeout on Mofu here. Tomates also sounds like a mutant tomato. Tomates? Yeah, it sounds like an interesting way to say tomato. What is that? That's great. Two. That's great. Okay. Oh wow, that's nice. Alright, let's find, maybe we should do another hand. A practical hand thing. Give me one of those hand things. No. Maybe.
What was that?
What was that? We got a couple follows here that I think I didn't thank. Nope, I think I got them. Percy, thanks so much for the follow. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for everybody hanging out here. I'm just trying to find another hand reference to use. Wow, this one's really good. This is actually great. This is... Oh, it's in Russian. Okay, the stock addicted.deviantart. This has some great... the hand just curling into a fist. That's awesome. It is lower res, but... Let's see what else we can find then. Oh, just hanging. Oh, this is perfect. This is even better. Look how excited I am for hands. This is... yeah. There. This is... I think this is what I want to do. We'll turn that one off. Let's get this. Probably do some level adjustment here. Alright, while we get ready for that, let's go ahead and fill up on coffee. I'll be right back. Just give me another second here.
What was that?
I'm back. I'm back. The music just stopped? There's just no music? Okay, there's music. Calm down, Derek. Just like 2 seconds of no music. Just relax. What's a Percy Lapse? Oh, did I call you wrong? By the wrong name? I'm sorry, Percy. Lapperson. Or did somebody call you? What? What? Oh, is it Mofu? Is Mofu calling you something? To do a double take to make sure I don't say Percy Lapse. Oh, I see. I'm all caught up now. I understand. Context. I understand the context now. It's Mofu trying to have a conversation about someone's butthole, I think. Or to not to. I don't know. I get confused whether Mofu wants to or not. Anyways. Marilia, thanks for the coffee reminder. I forgot I put on some water to heat up. Is that for tea? Is that what you're doing, Marilia? Hi, Marilia. Yeah, my lovely girlfriend makes a full 12-cup pot of decaf coffee every morning to put into my veins. And I'm just not a person without it. Coffee, okay. Yeah. Just a slow drip coffee machine maker thing. What I got. Okay. So I think let's make this a little bit bigger. I think we can do that, yeah. Without losing too much resolution. Double chocolate mocha. Oof. That sounds nice. Ooh, nice humble brag. You know a girl. Yeah. And slumbering. She also lives with me too, so it's fantastic. Not only do I know her, but I know where she lives. Wait a minute. That's... Oh, Creeper Derek. Gotta relax there, bud. Monka ass. Alright. The wrist. palm, hand. Monka ass. Monka ass. The monka ass? Shake your monka ass. Here. They off. That right there. The mittens going. I think we can probably bring that up a little bit more. Here, let's make this bigger. That back here. So seeing how far thumb goes up, I can shrink this down a bit. Index finger. Middle finger here. We get it, Jared. You know what would be cool is if you did a drawing lesson live, like coach someone through a drawing. How would we do that? How would we do that? And I don't think I'm really that interested to talk to any of you guys. Oh boy. Well, I'm out of here then. I don't know. That might be something we could do in the future. Have some type of I would love to do commission giveaways and maybe something like that. I see, the thing with me teaching somebody is that I very much see myself as a fucking student. You know, I very much see myself as wanting to become more educated. So, in my desire to do that, I don't really put myself in a position, in a role such as a teacher, right? It's more along the lines I'm just sharing whatever bullshit that I remember, or whatever we're working on, or whatever the topic is. If there's a question like, Derek, how do you do that? I'll just recite what I understand. You know what I mean? I'll just share my understanding of something. I guess that technically is teaching. But I guess I'm also still very much trying to learn. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think there's probably better people more suited for the role of teacher than myself. Feels strange. Down here. It's the thumb.
What was that?
What was that? What was that? That was... Baby LOL. How you doing? Thanks for the follow. Like this. Oh, that's too low. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this then. Yeah, maybe? Wrist might be too big too. It's almost like I just want to see the entire arm in order to understand. I don't know. Sometimes it feels like it could be beneficial, or more beneficial, rather than cropping it out. Much like how with poses, I kind of want to see the entire pose, including legs and feet, right? You don't just want to assume they're standing on something. They could totally be levitating. You know, that's a very real thing that humans do all the time. Look at David Blaine. Guy's fucking flying all over the fucking... He's flying everywhere, you know? Alright. I did a study with the same set of hands recently. This one? CNES? Did you go for Pinterest? I think that's where I got these guys from. Now that I found the hand algorithm stream. Current algorithm. Like that. I feel like all the content I've seen has been paint over type critiques, but I haven't seen someone coach someone through a sketch, let's say. You know, what I've tried doing before, I was drawing a male torso from reference. I would do it once while being able to look at the picture, and then I would keep trying to draw it again and again without reference. I don't know if that's useful exercise. It absolutely is. One of the big exercises that we did over on Behance is something very similar to that. We were doing it for portraits, for heads. So essentially the exercise, you'll in total have around 3 or 4 different drawings of the same head. First one is just a reference study. You draw the reference as is, that's kind of it. Second one, you can take the reference and use it to draw a character from a different genre, essentially just throwing the reference through a genre. So like if it's like just like an old dude, you could turn him into an undead dude, or a pirate, or an undead pirate. It's limitless, right? So that's kind of it with the second one. And then third and fourth, the third one is usually the one when I'll try and draw from my memory. And the fourth one, it's kind of up in the air. I think what we were doing is we were trying to take the same portrait head that we were drawing for the past 3 and rotate it in a different angle. The only thing about that is that's a pretty time-consuming exercise on an already pretty girthy exercise. But that's it. That's pretty much the... Let me say pretty much one more time. That's pretty much it. That is it. That's the exercise. Draw the head a bunch of times in ways that can hopefully help you remember that you ever drew this head, and therefore helping you in the long run when it comes to character creation and development, I guess. Sorry. Concept creation. Concept character art create. I don't know. Whatever. Just there we go. That's really what I was trying to say. A fart noise with your mouth, really? In this economy. I don't like this hand. So I'm gonna draw it again. Or I'm gonna erase it. There we go. Let's do that. I think I lost a lot of the things that I liked about it. Let's try it again. This comes down to here. Pinky. That. Like the space between here, I don't think I have the right distance. Shrink this brush. Yeah, I don't know how I would do any kind of like live tutelage, tooting, other than that, but it's I think it would have to be a special treatment. If I ever do a Patreon, maybe that would be something that I could probably put in like a higher tier. But I don't see myself doing that anytime soon. You know, maybe that's a good idea for other people who have established Patreons. That's something they want to try. Feels strange, right? Loading fingers. Alright, let's draw this one. Do that enveloping glove thing again. On the thumb. Palm. Like that. Let's see how far the tip of the index finger is on the tip of the thumb. Base there, palm. Or I guess, what you call that, where the fingers connect. That. Okay. Let me see. I like your studies, I like your paintings, but for some reason I like studies better. I was lurking on your streams in the past few days as well. So with studies, I find that and this is I guess maybe a sign that I need to not study anymore, maybe. Or maybe I'm not studying enough. Who knows? Is that, yeah, my actual artwork, the stuff that I draw when I'm not just studying, has a vastly different quality to it than my hands do. Sorry, than my hands, than my studies. The reason why is with the studies is all the answers are in front of you, right? It really just comes down to a matter of observation. So that's mainly why. If I could see in my mind's eye even a slightest little bit of finished work of something I'm trying to create, I think my results would be better, but it's usually just a blur. And the end results are usually shit. So they're usually trash. But that's why we're here. That's why I'm here. I'm here to try and not be trash, and try and get better and try and improve and then do the thing. You know what I mean? Do the living, doing the thing you want to be doing thing. That's really I'm assuming the goal for everybody, right? What? Gotta put the work in. Gotta do the studies. For the first 6 months, I think we'll probably do 6 months of studying this year. And then the rest of the year will be probably a mix of both doing portfolio work and studies. Okay, so there's those hands. Any sexy male torsos can come to model at my house free of charge. I'm more than happy to draw. Well, that counts me out. Aurelia. That counts me out. I got, are you okay with drawing unsexy dad bod? Is that, is that? You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and probably say that that's probably not a good thing to draw either. Or at least not mine. I don't know how the girlfriend would feel about that. I should start my own life drawing website, and it's just all photos of me, just like in all kinds of revealing positions and whatnot. And then just, I guess that'll be, we'll make that my OnlyFans kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know where it's going with that one, but maybe that's what we'll do. And we'll call it Derek'sDick.com. Derek's Art Dick. No, it's probably not a good idea. Probably not a good idea. And I do think that we could probably push this over. I really want more, I want to draw more hands like this. And kind of that default relaxed, hanging down to your side kind of hand. Because that's probably the hand that I need to draw more of. Is essentially why. Like characters who are standing around, like what they do when they're characters from time to time.
What was that?
Ah! That's what I want to do. Isotopoloco. Isotopoloco. Iso? Thanks so much for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Alright, let's find another photo. This one. I want to do this one. Excuse me. Yeah. Let's go right click, view image. There we go. This guy's he's got some beet juice. You know, was in the garden, pulling some beets. That's the type of gardening I'll do as well. Just stand out in my garden and just go. And then say, hey, you know what? Some jokes just shouldn't be finished, right? All right. For later purposes. For later purposes. Yeah, okay, let's do it. I don't think we really did maybe that one. Kind of hands with palms up. Haven't really done too many of them. So let's do it here. That cowbell. Okay, coming to the wrist. The other hand in here. Hand goes up like that. The palm. Coming that way. think we need a little bit more room. Okay, so let's get the fingers in. Thumb comes up to like here. Missing anything in chat here? Just slumbering giant being thirsty. Bart Milk, John Derek Murphy. That sounds about right. You have a gorgeous Caroline to draw. To draw me? I think it'd be funner if I could draw her. And she's down for that. She's totally down for that, I think. Maybe not if I'm saying it in front of a crowd of people. But maybe at some point. She wants to be I certainly will be using her as reference. Sooner or later. Which I have already, I believe. Okay, so something is happening here. Get these fingers. So this comes up to about here. Right, a little bit closer. And connect it. Connect it. And then erase the excess. Very, very sausagey. Yeah. I'm fairly certain I'll probably I don't know if I ever want to paint like another merfolk. I think I probably will. I think I would love to do another like aquatic person image. Later this year. This feels a little bit strange. I think a couple reasons why. It is the pinky. Needs to be a lot further. that. This thumb. This other hand. Pinkies look like they are touching. If not, this one is overlapping the other one, right? Here. Space in between the thumb. Thumb goes to about halfway up-ish. At least it looks like. Okay. What are we doing for time? Okay. So I think that'll probably be it for today. Tomorrow we're gonna do more. We're just gonna do more. I would love to find more references like this. Just because they're just so practical. I'd love to find more like that, so I'll probably spend some time doing just that. Sometime today, tomorrow. But guys, thanks for all the new followers. Anybody who's just hanging out in general, I certainly appreciate you guys coming by. I stream every day throughout the week, Monday through Friday. I don't want to duplicate that. This week is going to be hands and feet. Throughout the next couple of months, we're going to be covering a lot of different things. I would like to get better. That's kind of the objective. Is to improve my art abilities, my drawing abilities, painting abilities. Let's just improve them all of my abilities. And then after we're done with a couple months of studies, we'll switch over to doing some portfolio stuff. So then that's when I'll be actually painting and drawing the way that I would be drawing without a study mode type thing. I don't know. Whatever we're doing right now. But until then, we have a lot of stuff that I want to cover. like this week is hands and feet. We'll probably do some color studies. We'll probably do some value studies here. Maybe that's what we'll do tomorrow. We have enough reference to probably pick and choose. Probably do this one, honestly. What if I do Control Y? Yeah, we'll probably do this one, value study. And then we'll find some other feet to do as well. I think that's pretty much it. I can do one of these exclamation point socials if you want to follow me on the interweb elsewheres. You can always follow the channel here. I do stream, like I said, Monday to Friday, 5 days a week, starting at 9 a.m. EST. And that's it. That's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I'm going to get some food. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the follows. Appreciate it, guys. Loves and hugs. Loves and hugs. I'm out. Peace. I didn't mute my mic yet. Hold on. Loves and hugs. I'm out. Peace. That didn't feel ready. Okay, I'm